Whoa! Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Guys, scared me over there. Dropped my phone, actually cracked the screen if you wanna. Can you believe it? We're gonna have to take care of that next time, but glad you're here. Welcome to part 2 of my credit card benefits guide. A in-depth rundown and look at all of those extra benefits that come with your credit card, things that they tell you about in the marketing materials, things that you kind of know in the back of your mind that exist, but I'm here to break down for you what exactly it is, what it covers, what it doesn't, and what you need to do when you're putting those claims in. As you probably can tell by now, today we're talking about cell phone protection. This is being pushed a lot recently with a couple new cards coming out with this feature. We never really saw this before, and I'm glad that it's being pushed out. I mean, my motto is always better to have it than not, even if it ends up being terribly hard to use, even if there are tons of exclusions. I'd still rather have it than not. And plus, a lot of these credit cards come with no annual fees, so it's not like you have to pay for this like you do with your normal insurance. If you're new to the channel, be sure to get subscribed, hit that like button, hit the notification icon, join the community Discord as we try to build up a community. As I said, this is only the second video in this series, going to be doing more detailed look at travel protection, rental reimbursement, all that good stuff. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything specific you're looking for. But let's jump into today's episode about cell phone protection. As I said, this feature is becoming more popular in some of these no annual fee credit cards. Off the top of my head, the Chase Freedom Flex, newly introduced MasterCard World Elite card, comes with cell phone protection benefits. Wells Fargo American Express Propel card, also no annual fee card. I have reviews and impressions of both of those cards on my channel. I'll link it up in the video somewhere, but these cards all come with this cell phone protection. And I want to start all of these videos by giving my thoughts just as a normal person of what I think these things cover. And so when we get into it, when we look at the policy details, when we look at the contractual language and dive into it, we can compare it between the marketing materials, what people's impressions are, and what you actually get. So let me know also down in the comments what your initial thoughts of these plans are. What do you think is actually getting covered, and what do you think are any exclusions, if any? So when I think about cell phone protection, I think about if I lose my cell phone, if someone steals it, I can get that replaced, or if I break it on accident, I can get that replaced. Very basic. And this is important because a lot of people rely on their cell phones. I'll be the first one to admit it. I have multiple cell phones, as you can see here, another one here for my notes. I'm within arm's reach of my phones at any given time, 24/7, for like the past 10 years. Couldn't imagine going a day, a week without a cell phone with it being broken. Just would be very, very hard. It might be a bad thing, but just putting it out there. Looking into the details, pretty much cell phone protection covers these, but there are a lot of buts. There are some restrictions. So right off the bat, we're just gonna go over some of the general overview with the Chase card and the Wells Fargo card. The Chase Freedom Flex, they're offering you up to $800 per claim and $1,000 per year in cell phone protection against covered theft or damages when you pay off your phone bill with your eligible Chase credit card. They have a maximum of 2 claims in a 12-month period and a $50 deductible per claim. So that deductible pretty much tries to deter you from submitting claims that are like $10. So anything that they do end up giving you, they'll take away that $50 from it per claim. On the Wells Fargo side, this is an American Express card. The Chase card was a MasterCard. This card is offering up to $600 protection with a $25 deductible and a $1,200 max per 12-month period. Once again, cell phones are protected against damage or theft. It does not include coverage for cell phones that are lost. Although these are Chase, MasterCard, Wells Fargo, Amex cards, these programs are not run through any of these companies I just mentioned. They're usually run by third-party administrators or an insurance company, much like your homeowners or auto insurance company I believe the MasterCard benefit is run by Sedgwick, and Wells Fargo is run by like AIG or XXL, one of those companies in there. So the company actually processing that claim will be different than your card benefit or something like a chargeback that you might file with Chase or with MasterCard. There'll be a different set of people helping you out through this process. Right off the bat, step number one, you want to just know the general details and what's being covered for how much and what's not. Most of the time, the marketing material on the websites, the headliners that they'll list in the schedule of benefits will tell you from a general perspective what is covered. We see Chase, $800 per claim, $1,000 maximum, $50 deductible. American Express, $600 per claim, $1,200 per year, $25 deductible. And this is important to know because now cell phones have just been getting more expensive over time. A lot of people have the new flagship devices from Apple, from Samsung, LG, Google. I guess on the bright side, Google actually lowered the price of the Pixel 5 this year, but a new iPhone 11 Pro Plus Max, whatever they're calling it, will cost you upwards of $1,000. Right, the new Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G edition, $2,000 phone. So you can see here, if you break that, it's not going to cover all of that phone. But if you have an older device, older iPhone, or a smaller device, or a mid-range, entry-level, maybe OnePlus, some other manufacturers, yeah, your phone might get covered. So first of all, think about what you have and if this will actually cover your entire phone in the event of a total loss. If it's stolen, you break it completely. We're thinking about the worst case scenarios here. And also, due to the maximum limits in both of these policies, you will most likely only be able to cover 2 full phones, 2 total loss events, I'll call them. If you have a family plan with 4, 5, 6 devices all on it, and for some reason, if you lose 6 phones in a year or something crazy like that, you're not going to get covered for all of that. So once you know the basics, the second, arguably the most important part, is to look at the exclusions. This will take some time. This will involve reading that contract, that insurance document, your benefit summary document that you get from your cardholder. Most of us delete those emails. We throw those letters out in the trash. But this is where all the important stuff is at, to check for any exclusions or requirements that you need to be aware of. And for the purposes of these exclusions and these conditions, I'm looking at Wells Fargo's program. I actually have that card. I don't have a Flex card. I was able to find a general copy of the MasterCard terms and conditions online, but that might not be up to date. Generally, these things are pretty similar, so this can be used as a good general guideline, but always be sure to consult with your bank, your credit issuer, the company providing you the service for more specific and exact details that you will have to follow. One of the most important ones here is a lot of these policies provide secondary coverage, meaning if you have other insurance that could possibly cover your lost or stolen or damaged phone, the protection that you're getting from your credit card will come after anything else you could get. So if your phone gets stolen from your house, your homeowner's insurance might cover that. This one, they will probably not pay out, and you're not going to be able to double dip. If you already have a protection plan with the cell phone, like Apple Care or something else, it gets damaged, you're going to have to go to them first before you can file a claim here. But the one thing that is, Apple Care does not cover theft for the most basic plan, so you might still be getting some extra benefit from this if you already have Apple Care. And assuming most people are covered under some type of homeowners or renters insurance, this will actually take out a lot of the benefit that you might be eligible for. Not saying that you're not going to be eligible for anything. Everyone's case differs, but this is something you should be aware of. Another really big and important thing is that you have to pay your cell phone bill that the device is covered under with that credit card, and those payments have to be on time every month. So if you're not the person that pays for that cell phone plan, you're on someone else's plan, your device won't be covered on your credit card. And if you miss any payments, you have any late payments, your coverage may lapse for that month. And it's also important to note that once you do start paying your cell phone bill, this kicks in on the first day of the month after. So if I start a new plan on November 3rd, I won't be eligible for this coverage until December 1st. So just hopefully nothing happens to your phone between now and then. Next up, this is usually also required. If your phone is stolen, you have to get a police report. So don't forget to do that. If you're traveling, this might seem like another pain, right? Your phone's already been stolen. Your wallet may have been stolen as well. Next thing you want to do is go through another loop. But if you go home without filing that police report, they might deny your claim on that basis. And looking at just the Wells Fargo one in particular, you have to file your claim within 60 days. So you are on the clock. You have to get this moving. You can't just sit on it for a year and then try to file it after that. And next up, probably the worst part of all of this, the exclusions. So don't want to talk about this, but we have to go over what's not covered. Accessories other than a battery or antenna aren't covered. So if you have a screen protector, a skin, a phone case, phone stolen, they're not going to pay to replace those things. Nowadays, not a lot of phones have antennas now or removable batteries, so that's a little bit outdated. Things such as expandable storage SD cards will probably also not be covered. Phones purchased for resale or commercial use, so if you're not actually using it yourself, if you got something to flip and someone stole it, then that won't be covered. They usually ask for documentation to prove that your phone is actually the one on your wireless bill. Next up, if your phone mysteriously disappears, also known as if you lose your phone, they're not going to be covering it. This is more for damage and theft. If you lose your phone, you might have other things that may cover it, but generally this will be excluded as well. If your phone is under the care, custody, control of a common carrier, so if it was being shipped by UPS, USPS, FedEx, they lose it, you probably have to ask them, hey, what's up? Where's my phone? If an airline is handling it, then you have to take it up with the airline. If it's stolen from baggage, unless it's being hand carried under your direct supervision. So once again, if it's on like a checked bag on your flight, they lose the bag, they lose your cell phone, you're not going to be able to collect any payments under this policy. Now here's a little different. The Wells Fargo terms don't clarify. It says rented or borrowed phones or pay-as-you-go phones are excluded. On the MasterCard, it goes into more detail. It says if you rent or lease a phone from someone other than a cellular provider, or if you purchase your phone from anyone other than a cellular provider or an online retailer that has the ability to activate that phone, it's not going to be covered. So I'm thinking here, if you buy your phone on eBay, that might not be covered because a random seller on eBay doesn't actually have the ability to go activate that phone. If you buy your phone from like a T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, that should be fine. If you buy your phone through the manufacturer itself, that should also be fine because they have the ability to activate those phones. So Samsung, Apple stores, that should be fine as well. Cosmetic damage isn't included, so minor scratches, minor cracks, as long as your phone is still operational, they won't pay for your phone to get replaced or fixed. The phone that I dropped at the beginning of this video has like a slight, don't know if you can see it, but it has a slight crack down the middle. The screen's still fine, I can still use it, so it's probably not going to be covered. Damage from hostility, fraud, confiscation by authorities, normal wear and tear, earthquake, flood. These are some pretty common exclusions that you'll see on other insurance policies. If your phone is damaged from any of these events, not going to be covered. I know it sucks. I probably said not going to be covered a ton of times. Just so you know, I think it's useful to see what exactly is not included. But for the average person, if you just dropped your phone or if your phone was stolen from you, you should be fine. These are pretty specific scenarios and use cases that I think have some justification behind it. Like if your phone is being handled by someone else, they would probably be responsible for it. You could go after them. Some other uses like commercial uses, they just want to make sure that they're covering your phone being used by you. After all of that, step number 3, check to see who's administering the coverage and how you can actually go about reporting that claim. A lot of the times you can just call the number on the back of your credit card and someone will be able to direct you, or you can look online, go straight to that claims form or straight to the administrator and they can help take care of that. But just have in mind who you have to go to, because you do have a limited amount of time from the time your phone was broken or stolen to the time you have to submit a claim. So just keep that in mind and know who to reach out to. So I know that was a pretty lengthy deep dive, but as I said, these videos will probably be longer than the normal videos just to go over all of the details to make sure that I'm giving you guys as much as I can for you to get informed about these specific coverages. And one of the downsides about this is I mentioned earlier that it sucks to be without your phone. It will take some time for them to process this claim and for that money to get sent out to you. Some people have terrible experiences with insurance and claims. Other people, everything's fine, everything's smooth. You submit all the documents, not a problem, it's covered. You get your check a couple days later, but it will be a couple days. So in the meanwhile, you're not going to know if your claim's been accepted or denied. You might be out of pocket on the hook for a new phone if you really need to be using that phone every day, or if it's broken and you can't get a clear answer and you just decide to go ahead and get it fixed. But sometimes they might tell you not to get it fixed. They might want to go check it out themselves. So be sure to also just read that specific language to make sure you're not excluding yourself out of anything that would disqualify you from coverage. I also mentioned that these plans are aimed to just cover damage and theft. So that's all I have for you today. Rundown on cell phone protection. Let me know your thoughts, or if you have any experiences with this, down in the comments, and also what else you want to see in future videos. I really do hope that this series will be helpful for you guys out there. So if you enjoyed the content and you thought it was helpful, be sure to leave a like and don't forget to stay subscribed to catch all of the upcoming video releases. Thanks for watching. Peace.